We are back for another episode
Back
of
at it,
Flag
back
on the
at it.
Culture. Flag on the Culture. We back. Aaron, how you doing? How you doing, man?
Man, it's no complaints. Another week, man. The summer camp has started. Man, Not Easy Broken Fitness is taking off, man. How you doing down there, man? It's California. We gotta pray for our people down there, man. We gotta pray for our people.
It's crazy times out here, man. It's truly, it's heating up heat-wise as well. You know, people act crazy already in this world when that heat, and then these issues that our president is starting to implement. It's crazy times, but like you said, pray, hope that all the families are doing well and able to stay out here. But we also have gotten some good feedback on the show, so people are tapping in. It's a blessing, kind of to share our opinions. For those who don't know, we get to talk about, trending topics about sports, about relationships, things that we see in our culture, and we throwing flags on them because unfortunately, some things are good in our culture, but other things they need to go, and we need to cut them off. So that's what we're here for. Aaron, man, what's tell everybody what you got going on at Not Easily Broken Fitness, man.
Man, summer camps are started, man. The summer camps are started. Um, we offering 12 sessions for $300, man. That's an incredible deal you could get for the whole entire month. You'll get 12 sessions within that month. And then after that month, you'll have to renew for another 12 sessions until the next month. Now, this camp is only going till August 11th. So we're only going June, July, and August. The reason why I decided to do it this way this year was because I wanted a lot more. I wanted the same kids to stay consistent within the program of how we work. So I felt like that was one of the best methods that I could come up with to keep the kids in a program for a longer time, but also getting incredible work, man. So yeah, we got, man. It's taking off, man. And if you guys don't know, you can follow our page at Not Easy Broken Fitness on Instagram. We don't have our Facebook yet or any other platforms right now. We only on Instagram, um, just for management and time purposes. But man, what you got going this summer, man? Or not even this summer? What you got going on now, Coach Ike? What you got? With some things you got? With some plans, with some plans in the future, with some things you got going, kids' birthdays, anything like that. Man, what's up with you, Coach?
Man, so everybody summer break, everybody's taking their training serious. So got the one-on-one training. I really don't talk about private group training, but starting to do those. As well, got those group trainings. As well, for those who don't know, do virtual training. So if you're not in the area, you're not close, but you also want to train. We have a virtual training, only $10. $10. Now, y'all better get in right now. Y'all fit in because I'm telling y'all, in the future, that's going up. But for those who don't know, we changing lives, making impacts, not just on the field, off the field, helping young men change their life and trajectory in football, and you get that all virtual as well. Okay. And then, I got something, I want to put it out there. I got something on the way. So I've been working on this for a while. And, I understand that I'm only one person, but at the same time, my whole thing is about helping as many kids as possible. So soon I will be announcing, a a coaching platform where helping coaches develop their DBs, right? So teaching them, what I know, teaching them as far as business wise. If you want to become a trainer, defensive coordinator, if you want to move up to the next level, if you want to just learn DB position, uh, so setting up a platform for you guys, and it's going to be a pilot, and soon more information on that. I think it's going to be real good, and it's all about helping the kids. And I know I'm limited as one person, but that's the next thing I got going on.
Yeah, man. If y'all not paying attention, y'all heard the price. I ain't even gonna repeat it. So y'all better go on and get that deal while you can. I'm not even calling it a deal. I'm calling it calling it what it is, man. Go on and get that. Go on and get that knowledge, man. You'll be a fool not to get it. You'll be a fool not to get it, man. He got interception record holders under his belt, NFL stars under his belt. Man, the pedigree goes a long way, man. He got a nice little, he got a nice backyard of pit bulls, man. So I think you should decide to come train with Coach Ike, man.
Hey man, they gonna figure out sooner or later, man, and by that time it might be too late. Cause once
You're
it's over,
perfectly fine, because it ain't for everybody.
exactly.
It ain't for
Man,
everybody. What's our first flag we throwing, man? What's the first flag we gonna throw on the culture, man? It's a lot of topics going on in the world right now. It's a billion things we could talk about. It's life, culture, sports. But man, what's some things you want to pinpoint on today, man? Like what's one of the first things you want to go on and attack and kind of get out the way, kind of in a sense throw a flag on the coach and get off our chest, man.
well, let's keep it in the sports realm, and because we play DBs, this question: what are some myths of playing DB that you want to debunk, man? Because I see a lot of people, they be like, man, DB is the hardest, which I'm not disagreeing with. But what are some myths, though, that you think, you want to be like, man, it ain't all that bad, man?
I would say some myths. I think this might be one of the only positions where the myths might be true. You know what I'm saying? So I might have a reverse psychology type understanding of it. Because I think the DB is the most athletic person on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. To answer the question, I don't know every myth out there, but I know the myths that I've heard have been true since I've been in football. You know what I'm saying? So a DB being the most athletic on the field, truth be told, if you ask a DB to go all the way back to the start of his career, he'll tell you he didn't even play this position that he's starting in now.
Yep.
So I wouldn't even disagree with that question. I honestly wouldn't take anything for me personally.
Yeah.
I don't think that the things that I've heard through the myths, that they it's not even the fact of being true or not. They hold a lot of weight. You can go to another DB, no matter what level or not, or of course a level of experience, and he can give you a same understanding in different words. So, man, help me out. Help me on a different perspective, man. Tell me what you some that you heard through your career, or some that you might have heard, at any level. What's some myths that you would like to debunk from, knock out the way, or
So yeah, I'm gonna shock a lot of people. I think corner is the hardest position. Of course, you going backwards as an athlete and covering somebody full speed running at you and covering them, that's the hardest thing. But honestly, the myth is, that you got to be super athletic to play this position, which to some degree you do. But what I want to debunk is making plays as a DB is probably the easiest thing. And this is what I mean by this. If you as a DB know where the ball is going just based off your understanding of football IQ, then you making a play, it doesn't take any physical strain or anything like that. It just makes it easy. Yeah. And to kind of make my point, you will see a veteran who's not in the best of shape. It don't even matter if it's professional, if it's college or whatever. The veteran is no longer in shape like he used to be, nor can he move like he used to. But he still makes plays more than the young guys. And the young guys are, in a tip-top shape, all this stuff, running around, rah, rah, rah. But you got a guy, he got 7 interceptions, and he just knows what he's doing. And for the most part, this is since I've been young, when coaches or guys there's like, if I knew what I know now back then, man, I'll be killing it. So, making plays is easy at DB. What is hard though is the conditioning part. The hard part, and this is not just even DB, but since we're talking about it, the hard part in football is staying in shape, keeping yourself to maintain for a whole year, that whole season, regardless of your high school, college, whatnot. That's the hard part. But actually making a play, that's the easy part if you know football IQ and you understand the game.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, so I know it's gonna throw a little off on people though, for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense though. With a deeper understanding, it makes sense. I mean, for me, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think I've heard it's the hardest, but okay, so yeah, I would debunk. I would debunk the myth. That would be one of the myths that I would debunk. I don't think it's the hardest. I think that you have to be able to move the best on the field to play this position. So yeah, I think you got to move the best on the field to play this position. That's just you're doing every movement that every other position is doing a lot quicker.
Not facts.
Regardless if you like it or not. Regardless if you know it or not.
Facts.
You get what I'm saying? Regardless if you know it or not. And I think that kind of leads to our next question. Of me saying like, what do you think the closest position of football? What do you think the closest position in football is to DB?
So a lot of people believe receiver. I don't think so. I've been saying this for years. It's O-line. It's the O-line.
And I think it's
so if you think about it, the O-lineman, we got the same. Our feet work is the same as the O-line. As far as us pressing, so if we're pressing, we're the O-line compared to the DN and the receiver. The DN has to get past the DB. The DN got to get past the O-line and get to the quarterback. You got to get to a spot. We got to have balance. We got to have strength, and we got to be fast and strong at the same time, just like an O-lineman. Now, if you see the O-lineman's feet, they kick step, and we talking about a tackle more so than a guard or a center, right? They got a kick step at a certain angle, which is the same as you kick step when you trying to cut off a receiver.
Or he stem you inside.
And then you also got to be able to move lateral at the same time, which without getting to the quarterback. And so that's just in one-on-one. And then if you think about as far as the whole O-line can go into a zone and it can go into like man. That's exactly how the DBs work. You can do zone where you can be like, hey, we're going to slide right and only one going to be manned up on the backside. Or we're going to go zone across and everybody just going to sit back. Exactly how the DB is. So that's, to me, O-line is the closest to the DB position, not receiver.
Yeah, I try to explain that to my kids so much. Like especially once I was explaining them in workouts, like how we pretty much are doing the same movements. We just had a quicker, like I just said, like to start it off, like we're just moving a lot quicker. You should be moving a lot quicker. I'm not gonna say we are moving a lot quicker because you should be moving a lot quicker. It's guys like Panay Sewell that got that. He got that DB movement.
That's true. You got some receiver. I mean, some O-linemen in the league very athletic. They move. They quick twitches. Better than DB.
You see when it's crazy because then that goes back to the opposite thing of like why the hell was Aaron Donald training with knives? Look how fast his hands had to be.
Got to.
Look how fast his hands had to be going against an offensive player, him being a defender. So
Receivers, they need to start doing his workouts, man. Them hands was potent.
they need to get their knives.
it ain't for everybody, man. It ain't for everybody.
Well, he the only one in history I ever seen do that. And if he was doing it back in the day, they didn't have cameras.
Oh yeah, they definitely wasn't.
Sure.
So man, I want to kind of change it up all the way, man. Talk about relationships, man. I'm married, you single.
Coaching relationships, player relationships,
Yeah,
life relationships. Oh, you said you married. I'm saying, okay, I see where we're going here.
yeah. So all of this, but even as a young person,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
what point, bro, do you move on from someone that's not interested in you?
Well, first of all, why the hell did y'all even get with each other with without having a high peak and a high interest peak?
Mm-hmm.
I think if you meet somebody and you're gonna be with somebody, it's got to be a high interest peak all along. Like I got to be interested in something. Like I got to be interested in the way you smell. Like it's got to be some interest all along.
So
It's got to
so
be
you
some.
so you know how because we in social media era, so you cannot be, you can be in another city, in another state, you can DM somebody and they never respond, but every month or so or every week you hit them up and they finally respond, right? But it's just like it's not what it should be. But some people, they just continue to go on, or they actually know the person, there was interest and there's no longer interest, but they crashing out over, if they dating somebody else, they doing all this wild nut stuff, and the person no longer you want to be with them.
Well, number one, that's your fault for crashing out. Number two, you got to take your mindset off of this social media because you're gonna lose every single time.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put your relationship on social media, and you can't. You can do whatever you want now. Just take it for what it was. Take it for what it is. You can do whatever you want. I just personally feel like when you do that, it opens up other doors to your first boyfriend ever. Like he might still feel for you. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He might have that jealousy spirit all along he's might been having. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I wouldn't. I don't know. You can't wrap yourself up in the social media dating. You can't wrap yourself up in the social media and how um you truth be told, you gotta reevaluate what interest is with social media out there. You have to reevaluate what interest is because a lot of this interest is the devil, bro. Like a lot of people are interested in the lust portion of what they
Mm-hmm.
see rather than a person that they can get to know. You get what
Yep.
I'm saying? So, and that's the first thing on social media. The first thing on social media is you see somebody and you like, oh, well, you want to become judgmental and you want to put yourself in a situation where you like, what do they have that I don't know? It's just a weird comparison thing. So I wouldn't necessarily put myself in a position of a social media comparing myself to thinking somebody is interested in me. You know what I'm saying? But um, if you was in that era, and man, it's I'm finding out when people don't respond after 72 hours, bro, leave them alone.
Mm-hmm.
Leave them alone. And I think with the way this world is, bro, you got 24 hours to respond. You on your phone all the time. What are you
Yep.
doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, it's no longer, I don't think it should be no longer, unless it's business. Like, we totally understand in business. I think that's going to stay the same, and that should stay the same. You give somebody 72 hours to respond. If they don't respond, then you taking their silence as no, because they had enough time. They had 72 hours to figure out, a response. So for me, it's just you got to build discernment, number one. And then you gotta build better discernment on situations that you face and situations that you occur and get into. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, what's your opinion on that, bro? Because it's a broad subject, bro. Because when you bring social media into it, I'm thinking you just saying when do you like you with somebody? I'm not thinking about a phone. So you like with this person and they like no longer interested in you. I'm like, all right, well, What would you hear? Like, you know what I'm saying? So when you ask that and you bring social media in it, bro, it literally opens up a can of whoop ass. It opens up a can of worms, bro. Like, because then you get into like you don't know if everybody is sending the same message, bro. So you ain't coming strong enough. You gotta send money first to even talk to her. Like now at this point, you get what I'm saying? Because
No, for real.
it's no more hi, how you doing? Now they think you mean when you do that. But when you send money, you nice. You real nice. Like, I'll talk to you if you give me some money. Bro, it's different, bro. When you bring social media into it, bro, it's totally different. And then age brackets, different. But then you got older people thinking like young people on social media. So where do you depict on somebody not being interested in you, bro? It's such a confusing culture that we live in that you do you really think you interested in somebody? Or is that just you scrolling for this long and you having the opportunity to be like having the opportunity to always have access to this. Like,
I,
so
I,
that's my thing.
I think you kind of hit it on the head. First of all, if you gotta send some money just to talk to a girl, you need to let it go immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. I don't care. I don't care if you trying to like unless you trying to trick off, which you got the right to do is whatever you want. But if you looking for a real relationship and you got to send money to somebody rather in person or via social media, you gotta let it go, bro. And then at any point, right? Because you talk, oh man, she just playing hard to get. You gotta court her. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. Look here, bro. I don't know about everybody else, but there is millions of women all over the world. Okay, I've been blessed. I've traveled. Uh, there is more than one woman in this world, and social media give you access to different women now. At one point in time, you
Does
was
it?
only
Does it?
yeah, because
Give
you
you
got to think
access
about
to look. It don't give
it.
you access to converse.
Yeah, you can because you can DM them. At one point in time, all you could do was talk to people in your city. That's it. You had no other options. You can you can start a long distance relationship with somebody now, and you be on the phone with them. You'll never see them in person, but you're in a long distance relationship. This is how people get catfish and everything. But you feel me? And then let's say if y'all was talking and somebody just like start ghosting you, this is where people be crashing out because they be following them on social media, seeing where they at, pulling up on them. Like, bro, you making yourself look like a fool, and then vice versa on the female side, you make yourself look like a fool. Like, just let it go. Like, I don't understand why people just can't take an L. Like, even if you really was feeling that person, like, all right, like this is over with and it's done. But yeah, I would not advise if you talk to someone and rather they ghost you or they tell you like, hey, we moving on, just move on. It's so many
I
people in
didn't
this
know how to.
world.
That's crazy you say that because I didn't know how to take L's growing up with people who didn't give me an L. So you didn't tell me that we done. You just like silently move on. So my biggest thing was like you gotta kind of fill me in. You gotta kind of feel me. Like,
Yeah.
but then as I got older, don't get me wrong, like I'm like, everybody don't need a reason, bro. Everybody don't need a reason. And then you don't gotta think about what you did or what you didn't do or what you could have did. Have better security by saying y'all outgrew each other. For yourself. That's the
Mhm.
best advice that I could give you. You get what I'm saying? Like this person ain't hitting you up, this person not calling you, and y'all hit it off strong. Y'all hit it off super strong, man. But he or she left, and now y'all not in a now you're not feeling how you feel no more. So I I would say, man, I would honestly say do your best not to put yourself in a situation of I mean I don't know, man. Put yourself in a better situation. Try to put yourself in a better situation of noticing who you with.
And where the issue is, where it stands in, and if everybody just transparent what they wanted up front, you feel me? But I don't think people try to do it intentionally. I think a lot of people don't know as far as the dating what they want. But for the most part, just be transparent and let a person make a decision based off that. At the end of the day, you're gonna respect, how a person moves if they tell you up front. It's only when other people know about the situation that it can kind of get murky, and you kind of feel embarrassed. So you got to keep people out of your space and out of your life. At the same time, don't get in a situation where y'all get physical. That's also what's hurting a lot of people. Like, I can speak for a dude standpoint. Dudes will stay around. They know they shouldn't be messing with a chick. They know for a fact. Like, rather physically they not attractive, rather emotionally, like she is got a bird brain, whatever it is, they know. But as soon as they there for the takedown, bro, they gonna stick around. Now the bad thing about it though, something can happen. Just because you've been around too long, you should have never got involved. Now you're in a situation where she start catching feelings. You don't see her the way she really look, because when you're around people, regardless they ugly or not, you start feeling them. And then or you might have a baby, and that's one of the worst situations to be in. And you knew you shouldn't have been messing with her. So now everybody know you had a little sneaky link. Now everybody know. Everybody like, ooh, that's you. And you like, you gotta take an L. Gotta take the L.
You looking sad in the pictures. You sick here, bro. You know it's crazy. All right, bro. I love the fact that you brought up the word transparent, bro, because I think I've only been taught one way, especially in relationships and especially with women, knowing that women are very, very emotional. Being raised by a woman, having an understanding, and having an understanding that a woman's emotions can be projected onto you as a young man if you don't have that mind capacity to want to be older and change that. You know what I'm saying? I used to just go off on women, and I never really realized it until I was like, well, that was my mom's like go-to discipline us. Like there wasn't no like that was her go-to. To you get what I'm saying? So it was just some things um that I had to realize before man, it was just some things that I had to value within my life. But when I say bringing up transparent, man, I've been in a situation before where I've literally told somebody like, I'm here to help you and your situation out. Like it may seem like we playing house. I said, but I'm literally here to help your situation out. Mm-hmm. I don't want to step on any toes or anything like that. I just feel like you don't push my mind to the point of where I want it to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like you don't stimulate my mind. Like you don't stimulate that. Like I do a lot for you that you turn around and get to thinking about yourself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I said, so for me, just being transparent like that, bro, she started liking me more because I was like that. And I'm like, that wasn't the point. That was not the point of the whole conversation. That wasn't the point of us having this conversation. The point of us having this conversation was me being transparent and being honest up front, just so you got an understanding of how I'm moving. Like, I'm not going to be in this field over here if it's potholes, stepping in potholes. Mm-hmm. I got to move around these potholes, so I got to figure out how to move around these potholes. You get what I'm saying? So just knowing that I put myself in that situation and then seeing the growth and the decline and the incline from the situation, bro, it's like you got to be emotionally stable as a man to be able to deal with a woman. Just period, point blank. Like, forget anything else. You got to be emotionally stable, bro. Like, you got to have your emotions in check because you know what you said. You know you right. You know what you did. This isn't about to them, what you said, what you did, or none of that. It's how they feel.
Yep.
How did I feel in this situation when you told me this? I felt good when you was telling me that because you was keeping it real. So I love somebody that keeps it real. This is somebody I want to love.
Yep.
You doing better than the last one did. You coming off like that. And I had to figure stuff out. I'm in love. How do you depict like with your transparency to women? I guess it's just the person that you meet. I guess it's just the person that you meet, because if you're having those issues, that ain't the person for you. I feel like. So it's so much easier when you can go into a situation, be transparent, and the transparent is accepted. Then you could turn around and accept the transparency that is being given. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying?
No,
So
no, I feel you.
that's just how I feel about it, man. I know it's different. Everybody has a different understanding of what they feel and what they think and how they are with experiences and stuff like that. But I just personally think, with my personal experience that I've encountered, even with transparency, man, you gotta it gets annoying when you continue. Like, I've tried methods, bro. Like, I've tried continuously bringing it up. So um man, I'm here to help. I'm here to help your situation out. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want more, then I won't, like, you. It's gonna have to be more from your side. Like, I'm doing a lot more, but it's gonna have to be more from your side. Like, it's gonna have to be more mental stimulation. So when this person doesn't understand that they need to bring that mental stimulation, then they get tired that they never learned that trait. So since they get tired that they never learned that trait, now stuff becomes the blame game.
Mm-hmm.
Now we play the blame game, and now we barely appreciating what this person is really doing, because this person gonna be there, and we know this person gonna be there. But this person ain't there how I want them to be there.
Yeah.
So, man, that's a deep topic, man, because I could be in this situation right now, or I could previously be in this situation, and it's still helping somebody out because they might be in this situation. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing that I would say is get your own emotional intelligence. Get your own emotional intelligence. See how you act in every situation of life. Like, I'm not, like, you got to kind of like be crazy with yourself. And it's not, I call it crazy because a lot of people won't put themselves in positions where they like, um, what would I do if this person just came up to me and started yelling and just going off on me? Just put yourself in real life like in situations that you don't ever think will happen. So then if something smaller than that happen, you prepare for it. I'm not saying go off and go, oh, haywire all over the place, but put yourself in a good enough situation to where it's like, all right, I understood this because I faced this emotion. I understood that because I faced that emotion. You know what I'm saying? So the biggest thing is, like, you gotta make sure on both ends, women and men, we gotta make sure we have enough emotional intelligence to bring somebody within our lives to have that understanding that we want them to have, because there is somebody out there for you. There is somebody out there that wants to understand you. There is somebody out there that want to work with you. As you see, you found somebody. Not even you're not even found, bro. I hate using that word because it's like we was looking around. You got blessed. You got blessed through the spirit with you got blessed through the spirit with a beautiful wife and beautiful kids. You know what I'm saying? So just to have that, for me, that's like something I yearn for, but it's also something I kind of take two steps back on. Just in my round, because I'm like, well, I want to get to. I don't know if I'm want to get to know people more. If I don't know if the reason why it hasn't happened because I haven't enhanced my emotional intelligence, and the person that is ready for me, they're not ready for this Aaron, but they
Mm-hmm.
might be ready for the Aaron in the next season. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, man, it's kind of iffy when it comes to stuff like that. But the biggest thing I say, man, make sure you got emotional intelligence before you get to projected energy on somebody and before you really like lock the situation down. Because the only way to be, we've been around males, bro, since we was young, bro. The only way to be is transparent, bro. So if you, that's the only way to be, bro. That was the perfect example of somebody who's never gonna lie to your face. Always keep it real. He gonna let you know, shit, you messed up. You know what I'm saying? So just having that, and then learning how good accountability feels, bro. Life goes a long way when you actually apply those techniques. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts. And I think you hit on two things, and going back to like why do people not move on? I think they don't want to be alone. Like people are not comfortable with being who they are and believing they're greater. Like they'll allow somebody to treat them like dirt. And they know deep down that they deserve more, but they rather be treated like that than be alone. And you know, that comes self-love and then self-awareness. I don't think enough people have self-awareness of who they are. And self-awareness is like where your flaws are, what you're good at, you know, who is the person, what are some boundaries that you need to set so you don't turn into the bad side of you, because we all got good and bad sides of us. But if you set boundaries with other people and with yourself, you'll never get to that point. And that's where growth comes in. But when you don't love yourself enough and you let people treat you a certain way, and then you don't have the self-awareness of truly who you are, the person, not what other people tell you, truly like what you like and dislike. We're not even talking about relationship. We're just talking about it in yourself. Like, do you actually like this food place because you like it, or y'all keep going as a family, so you like, oh, this is my favorite place? Would you go there if you never went? Like stuff like that. Like, do you know if you like to travel? All these things. And people, once they figure these things out, then it'd be better for relationships to work out. And the transparency, it can really work. And another thing about the transparency, I've know people, and I've done it too before. If you be transparent and there's an understanding, if you're around people long enough, feelings can become stronger, and then somebody gonna be sticking to what they said. The other person like, well, I'm starting to feel this way, so what you gonna do? And it's just like, either everybody communicate what they want. Either we gonna move forward together, or we gotta separate because it's no longer working for me on my end, and everybody gotta be okay with that. But that's much harder said than done. So
So let me ask you this then. With some of our current events going on, you not taking so it's a young lady on the stand right now with Diddy, and they like doing what they like, kind of they kind of like, yeah, well, why did you stay with him? That's what they trying to figure out. They like, well, let me get to the question, man. Dude, where does self-value come in and greed come in? Because I think with this situation, and you saying that kind of opens up my mind to saying like, damn, I gotta stop feeling bad for these people that's doing all this stuff for this money, because if he didn't have this money, y'all be right here with me. You'd be right over here, or you'd be bouncing around still. You get me?
that
So that, like, do you go against the grain for the chili? Do you go against the grain for a better lifestyle? Do you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's just like, how do people put themselves in situations? Not even how, bro, because I can't ask how, because I ain't never met I'm not a gigolo. So I ain't never met no woman who's just coming, throwing money, paying my rent every month. Like, yeah, I like this guy, and using me as a toy. I don't think that happens in our gender culture as males. I don't know. Like, it might be something. That's where
you got some sugar mamas. They want to
yeah.
take care of you.
And that's where they came up with the gigolo word. But you get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But for me, it's just like, you got to have more self-value rather than greed for you to put yourself in a situation like that, man. Because like what you saying, that's kind of like, damn, well, y'all make Diddy sound good. You know what I'm saying? Like putting themselves in situations just for the betterment of their life when he's doing them like this. You get me? So it's kind of wild to me, man, because it's like, damn, well, you'll call the police on a guy with no money who can't help himself through a situation, but you won't call the police on somebody who can get y'all all out of a situation.
Man, look, I can't
Set
speak for
yourself
that
up in a different.
situation. Yeah, I can't speak on that situation in case, because even though I hear, I don't know what's true. One thing I can say though, all money is not good money, right? And then you can't serve money and God. You just can't. You got to choose one. And I'll add another to that though. We talked about it early when our first episode with foundation. Not everybody got a foundation. Not everybody got a foundation to know what love is. Your upbringing can be very traumatic and you don't want to repeat it, but most people repeat the trauma that they've been through, unfortunately. And they don't know how to not get out of it, because at the end of the day, they might hide the trauma, or they don't want to seek help of how to, you know, do better. So they repeat the trauma later on in life, and it's very unfortunate. And some people make up in their mind they're not going to struggle in life. And for women, it's much easier to go after men who have money. I'm not saying all women do it, you know. And you got some men who do it as well, though, honestly. So it goes vice versa, but not all money's good money at the end of the day, though,
Yeah, straight out, man. I heard that. And man, y'all just as a unit, let's be smart moving forward, man. Let's not take we can do our best to tell everybody about God, but it's on you to believe that there is a God. Like it's a lot of people that say, I believe in a higher power. I believe no, a bird is higher than you.
man.
A cloud is higher than you. So that's
Yeah, what does that mean? What does
what
that
is that?
mean?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, where does your spirit sit at? You get what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest things that and I'm gonna be straight up transparent, just like we was talking about. When I got to St. George, bro, I lost sight of religion until I really had to come back to myself. And I really had to come back to um, understanding how powerful Christianity is and how powerful God is within himself. I start telling people like, I mean, I don't think it's a problem to tell people this. I start telling people like, man, whoever you believe in or whatever you believe in, just make sure you believe in something, man, because I believe in God. So I just hope so that's really at the end of the day, that's all I could do is just send that verbal love out there to somebody who is in a situation or a circumstance as such that doesn't have the discernment to see um, what they're going through or what they might be facing. You know what I'm saying? Because we do get blinded, bro. You get blinded by the lights, man. You get blinded by the lights. You get blinded by fun. You get blinded by um, repeated cycles that you don't even know until you. So, man, that's the biggest thing, man. Go talk to your family. Go talk to your peoples. Go talk to the OGs in your family. Go talk to the ones who were here before you. Go mainly dads, aunts, the real bloodline. Go talk to the bloodline and go figure out. Because one thing I learned about my family too, and this might be just a little off of what we're talking about, but it kind of goes back into it. One thing I learned from talking to like having family meetings and stuff that we used to have is that certain spirits that are let in have to be let out by the same certain spirits that were let in. So if you letting wickedness all into your life, you can definitely put that on somebody else and allow that to shed onto
Mm-hmm.
somebody else without them even having that understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So um, that's why I do my best not to pray for people. For me, I do my best not to pray for people because um, I know I'm set well in my spirit, but I don't know how my spirit gonna sit well with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Even with me praying for somebody, they might not be ready for that, and I might give my prayer might be too strong for them, or they might get all. I'm not saying that it's gonna happen, but they may get blessed all at once, and they might not be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I know prayer is to change things, but I don't feel that me doing that and me praying like me praying for somebody. I don't feel like I'm fully ready to give myself to somebody else without you know, being a fully committable person to God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like the small things that I do could affect somebody else that ain't never even had this you thought.
Oh, that's a good point, but I'll and this is straight from the word. Every man falls short, because if that was the case, even the pastors, the prophets, they couldn't pray over people. Then, if that's the case, because
Right.
they still got their own sin. And then we got to think of it like this though too. This is biblical, right? It says, one waters, one plants, but God is the one that is to save the person. So no individual is saved from another person. There's God. Now you might have influenced or you might have sowed a seed on that person's life, but it's only God that can truly save the person, the individual. So no man can get credit for what he does for another person ultimately at the end of the day. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we should be giving honor and glory to God all the time, regardless of what we do. Rather, we help someone out in business as we train, teach them. If we help somebody in their life for the betterment, and it's never us. It's never because it's the God inside of us, and it's the Spirit. Once that's what they feel, that's what they see in us. They don't actually see us. They might see the physical us, but it's actually the Spirit that is working on our behalf, because we are all spirit beings, regardless if you save or not. But when people say, "Man, there's something about you," that's something they talking about. That is that light. They may not understand it. You may not understand it, but that's what that is. And that's why, you got to shine bright.
Yeah, so man, some of y'all that's out there, man, some of y'all keep hearing it from y'all teachers. Some of you young kids, man, some of you young kids, y'all keep hearing it from y'all teachers. Like, man, you shine bright. If y'all don't have that understanding, take that right there, man. Take that. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that some of these elders and some of these older people who are out there in the world who actually do care about you can tell you that you are a change in your generation. You have to be the one to realize that you are part of the change. You get what I'm saying? You got to realize that. So, man, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that, man. Like I said, I was hesitant. I've always been hesitant about like praying. You know what I'm saying? Like praying for people and stuff like that. But having that firm having that firm understanding now from you and lacking the knowledge from the Bible that I haven't fully committed to is why I give answers like that.
I mean, it's all about growing. That's what we here to shed light on it.
Yeah.
Shed light. And now we talking about shedding light, man. Let's talk about, people graduating. Prom has come, man. I want to talk about this, bro, because I gotta throw a flag on this, man. So yeah, so with the prom thing, it has nothing even to do with the kids, because kids really, for the most part, don't have no money. This goes out to the parents. So this is not me making up no numbers. The average black family in America, we're talking about the average, makes $50,000 a year. We're talking about a family, so we're talking about one and two people, 50,000. I am all about, you want to celebrate your kids and you want them to have a good time. But are we going into debt to do this? And the reason why I bring this up, because I've seen kids now who are in Bentleys and uh, Ferraris, all these things and designer clothes. Man, I'm all for it. But is it putting you behind as a parent for a 1 day thing? Like I'm seeing I'm seeing like they're going all out. And then the thing about it, prom used to be like you get a limo and you get 4 or 5 people to split it. Like I did prom, it was
We
like,
all in the same limo, the friends, yeah,
yeah,
we good. And if it's
it
more people, y'all trail.
it was five or six of us that went, with our dates and whatnot. It was cool. I prom, it was whatever, it wasn't nothing special. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Was people driving to prom?
I believe so. I don't know. I didn't have that luxury. But kids these days, they got their license and everything like now. And, you know, I was blessed because my parents were able to give that to me, right? To go to prom. Not everybody's able to go to prom like that in style and stuff like that. And, you know, I can care less what you do for your kids. The thing is it more detrimental though for you to pay for that as a parent? And then let's be honest, because I'm a coach. I understand you a coach. A lot of these kids don't even deserve to really get that outcome because they grades and everything not even good enough. They ain't listened to you all year, but we rewarding them for errant behavior for what they did all year just because it's prom. Oh, we got to go out for them.
Yeah,
Now you can
that's
do
where you
whatever
know
you
what,
want.
bro. And the fact that you said the limos and Rolls Royces, that just lets you know the time change. That just lets you know, like, damn, back to the sensitivity of the generation. The parents is getting softer. The parents is thinking that they sacrificing more for their kid to look good one day. Now that social media is out. We didn't care about social media. Bro, I had a big ass suit on. I had a long suit. I thought it was the right suit to have on. Bro, I get
Everybody had them long suits on, like Steve
man,
Harvey. That's
no,
all we knew.
no, I look like a midget. I'm talking about, man, you can ask any of the people that I was at the homecoming little thing with. Bro, I had the longest suit, bro. It almost went down on my ankles, bro. My pocket, my arms wasn't even bent to go in my pocket. My arms were straight, putting my hands in my pocket. I'm standing there like this, like I got on a trench coat, but it's a normal, like you looking at it and you like, damn, that look a little off.
You
You
look
get what
like
I'm saying?
you melting
Man,
in there.
put me on social media back then. I'm still getting creamed in 2025. I'm still getting toe up. Now it's that, you feel me? We got to think about what they gonna think before we, you feel me? So we gonna go on and put him in the new race. Make him look like Kodak Black today, or make him look like Lil Yachty. Or that is detrimental to your. That's detrimental to your mental. That's detrimental because what is your child now learn? I'm just saying males from
Yeah.
males, and then
Mm-hmm.
for females too. But um, what is your for me, like, what is your son now learning to do for a special event? Like anytime a special event come around, like I'm only gonna do stuff for, I'm gonna only give you this on your birthday. Like I'm only like, so now you get into relationships. You think this person only deserves love on certain days because that's what the world said. You get what I'm saying? So for a birthday, you giving for a birthday now, you rent the car for somebody, but you driving the car around for their birthday because you rented it.
Hey, let me ask you this, because like I said, regardless if you got a son or a daughter, are you getting your child a hotel for their date after the prom?
Nigga, what?
Hey, it's people out here doing this, so I gotta ask.
Y'all better go make some s'mores in the backyard or on the front yard or on the front porch. I don't give a damn how bad you want this. Bro, I don't, bro. We wasn't even kids like that, bro. Like it was crazy. Our first little hotel party, I was tripping out because I'm like, there's no adults in here, bro. We could do whatever we want. Like, and it was like my first little rendezvous. I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, we yeah, no, bro. No. What the hell? I barely buy it. No, bro. I barely do it for, like, not even like that, but I barely do it for myself. I'm not about to buy my kids no hotel, bro. I'm not doing that, bro. You you listen, you that same parent that go all year talking about, you better not be doing nothing, sneaking around with them little boys or sneaking around with them little girls, and you
And,
better not be,
and still you throwing lobs for them. You throwing lobs.
just so they can go under the legs 4 times, dunk 360 windmill, bam. You tripping out your mind? Hell nah, nigga.
Tripping,
Hell
bro.
no, no. You're
Tripping.
not getting no whole hotel. You better stay right here, or
Oh man.
y'all better talk to the limo driver and see if y'all can hang out outside the house for a little longer or something. Like y'all better figure it out. I know y'all better create a little man. Look, hey, I don't even know. Look, yeah, I don't care what the times is. I don't care. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's this nonsense going on, bro. So I'm saying yes,
Oh,
everybody enjoy your prom, man. You want your kids to have a good time. Just don't go into debt, man, over this, man. Everybody trying to steal your money. Don't waste your hard. People working hard for that money, bro. And then you're gonna spend it on one day and get into debt, bro. It ain't worth it. I'll say that, man. So,
yeah.
y'all
If you the plug, like for me, I'm working my resources, bro.
and
I'm
you got to. You
my
got
boy,
to.
hey, my boy, I need one of them 2048. I need one of them 2048 Corvettes for my boy, man. You know, he going to prom him and his girl. Boom. So now your son understand, like, okay, dad worked enough to get his resources rather than when I get a girlfriend on her birthday, take her out in this G-Wagon that we got to turn in on Tuesday.
And I didn't even have the money all up to pay for it though. I had
Yeah.
to, hey man, let me hold something so I can get this G Wagon. My guy, if you don't got it, you don't need to do it, my guy. It's
You
not
need to
worth
do
it.
it.
You
Yeah.
don't need to.
So, and that's one thing I'm learning in I'm still learning that myself. And we all are, man. We growing sponges. You know what I'm saying? You either a dry sponge or you're a wet sponge. You feel what I'm saying? You either gonna stay stuck in the mist that you in, or you gonna be a sponge and spread out and get a little thicker than what you was when you started off. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? So it's more so, yeah. I wouldn't put myself in debt for a 1 day experience. Like I wouldn't put myself in debt for a 1 day experience. For hey, I tell you what though, let it be a spot like I tell you what I will do. Let it be somewhere like an event that's going on for like 10 hours, like a 10-hour event. Oh, you could best believe I'm gonna fake the phone. I'm getting in there and I guarantee I leave with more than 12 numbers.
It just got to make sense. And when I talk about make sense, it got to make me money. I'm not about to go. I'm not about to go into debt for a situation if there's no return, no ROI. You feel
Yeah.
me? And a lot of people do that, and a lot of people don't even know what ROI is. That's return on investment. So
Yeah,
if I
return
spend
on
some money,
investment, man. That's
if
what the
I
whole
spend some money, and then you know it might be a business deal, I might meet somebody, I might connect with somebody, and that turn into something. Regardless if I paid, let's say $1,000 to go to the same event for 10 hours, and I didn't have it on, I had to put on credit or something like that, or I had to borrow it. But in a year, just from meeting one or two people that put me on, and now we doing business, and I'm making $10,000 a month. That's a great return. That's a great return. But a lot of people not doing that. Not at all. They don't even think of it like that.
hell no.
So nah, yeah, just not on duty. Not on duty, man. We got to be more responsible.
Not
Um,
on duty. Not on duty.
we got to be more responsible as parents, man. We got to. We got to.
Yeah, this
Oh,
ain't. We don't need to give them no 1 day experience, man. Let them understand that they can live longer than this. That's like allowing them to spend all their money on draft day.
and this is why we got so many bad habits, man, going forward, man. Most of the time, financially, we learn from our parents. And, we don't have conversations all the time. So we're just seeing what is going on. And,
You just seeing the bad habits, and they just
yeah,
naturally own you.
and assuming, though, too, like, oh, yeah, man, I mean, prom is no different from your wedding, bro. Like, people spending 30,000 minimum for a wedding, and they don't even stay married for more than a year.
Oh
And
man,
we got
I'm about to
we got to
sell
stop
anything,
this.
man. I can tell you that up here quick. And
We got to
then
stop it.
some of them be having a church pay for the wedding. Some of the oh man, it's crazy up here.
Yeah, yeah. So let's get into this, bro. This is something I find truly amazing. Uh, it wait, we talking about, yeah, we're gonna talk about this. So there was, I forgot the gentleman who said this about he was on Cam Newton show, but he mentioned that whites put their children in sports for learning, and blacks in sports to make to become professionals.
Man, I love that, bro. I love this topic. I love this topic. I'm in a predominantly white area, so
So yeah, you
um,
can start us off on that there.
yeah. So I'm in a predominantly white area, bro, and every single parent, bro, I can literally show you text messages. I can show you. I can have conversations with people and give you the understanding, bro. Like growing up, where I was from, like, bro, you wasn't even playing recess for fun. You was not playing recess for fun. Recess was like we're going hard in recess. Like we still, you got to go hard in recess. It's not just a, you know what I'm saying? It's not just something that you just go out there and just, you mess around and get hurt nowadays. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I had that understanding that if you playing too much, you might get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you're playing the wrong way, you might get hurt. So if you're just out there just running around, you'll mess around and get hurt. If you're just standing so I say that to say this, man, like I got up here and to St. George, Utah, and this is not just to say this is just the dynamic that I'm in right now. This is just the base that I'm in right now. So this is just the perspective that I can give you from where I am right now in my life currently. Every single parent, almost every parent I've met, except for like maybe 4 families, bro. And I think I've had about 60 kids in my program. So I think about 4 families, bro, have literally said, I mean, everybody else besides these 4 families have said, yeah, I mean, wherever he goes in life, we just want him to learn discipline. We just want him to learn hard work. We just want him to learn. And mind you, I'm in a 95, above 90% Caucasian place. Like I'm in a place where they lack us. If you see us, we like groundhogs.
Mm-hmm.
So bro, every single parent that I've met, they literally like, man, well, yeah, we're just putting him in it just so he can, regardless of where it takes him. We just want to make sure that he's learning structure. He's learning small things. He's learning organization and how to work within a team. He's learning how to play a team sport and stuff like that. But also another thing that I noticed is, bro, those kids get hurt faster than us because they just out there and they not taking a sport serious. So they don't go home watching a sport. So they come back and they lack information and they lack the sport. You get what I'm saying? So me being black, like I always was told that this was either our way out or this is a way of life in a sense. You know what I'm saying? So since for me it was a way of life, I had more trauma to deal with once I got fully done with it than a kid who was just in it, just trying to learn discipline. And then if it doesn't work out for him, it's okay. So it's your pros and cons you got there, but like I'm around that. You know what I'm saying? Like what's your opinion on thinking that with, and I'm not you're around you're around you're like you're based in California, so the racial aspect is way bigger down there. The culture aspect is way bigger. You got a lot more cultures there. It's a lot more diversity there in California than it is here in Southern Utah and in Utah itself. You know what I'm saying? So what are some what are some understandings that you've taken from that along with some things that I've said? You know what I'm saying? Like what along with some things that I've said, what's some understandings that you've came up with or some clients or some personal experiences that you had where you've seen that?
So I think it is true. The overall statement is true for the majority. Yes, I believe that whites put their kids in sports for development to learn, life lessons. And for blacks, more so professional. Where I think why it's majority, I don't think it's every area. So I used to live in Florida. My brother-in-law, my godson, he stays in Florida. Florida and football is so big. They have in youth football, they have a fall and a spring season. then they also do track. And I was joking with my brother-in-law about my godson. I said, when do you see him? He said, real talk. He's like, I don't, like, for the most part. I'm like, well, how can you raise him correctly? And I'm thinking this, I'm not even just talking about him. I'm thinking in my mind, how can you correct him how to be a man if your son is in sports and you got to work all day, every season, from youth all the way up? How can you really develop them as a person? Like, yeah, they might be good in football, they might be good in sports, but as a person, how do you develop them? Now, that's where I think it depends on your location. Like, for most people who are in the hood, yes, they taught either you gotta go into music or you gotta play basketball or football, something like that. I don't think it's for all blacks though. And I can speak for me. I have children of my own. My daughter right now, she's the oldest. I put her in the sports to see what she likes. At the end of the day, I know it's more lessons more than anything. I'm not thinking about nothing her going professional.
You ain't thinking about no pro.
It's more so on
Here
her.
you go.
Yeah, it's more so on her. And then I'll take it back to me. My dad, I'm the one who said I wanted to play football growing up. My dad never said anything. If anything, my dad was like, Ernest, you're going to have a plan B. What is plan B? He asked me this in high school when I told him, what you want to do? I said, I want to play in the NFL. I want to play football. That's all I want to do. He said, Ernest, you got to have a plan B just in case you don't go. Or if you do go, you're going to be done at a certain age. What is plan B? So I think for majority now, I think when I was younger, it was more lessons that people wanted to, and at the same time, it was more so to stay out the streets because for single mothers, they put their kids in sports so they know that they're around coaches who can watch after them, stuff like that. You're around a group of community. We had villages. People not like that anymore.
Or they wasn't home yet
Yeah,
after school and they was going straight to practice.
exactly, because a kid who got idle time, he'll get in trouble. Nowadays, you got the parents who didn't play. They are age now. They didn't play, and they are living through their kids now. This is not all, but they living through their kids. Like, hey man, like I was good, but I felt like I didn't have enough, or I didn't have enough guidance. Man, y'all, I'm about to set you off right. And now it puts a lot of pressure on the kids. So that's why I think, for the most part, it is true, but I don't think it is everywhere in other states, because I've been to other places where it's dudes, they stopped playing football in college and they was like, I just want to be a student. Like, I can care less. Like, they'll show you their highlight. They could have been on scholarship. They was like, man, I'm done with football. I'm done with this. I just want to be, life is going to move on. I can't play sports forever. So, I do agree with that statement though. Majority of blacks do, want to go professional at some point in time, or the whites just for a lesson though, for sure.
Yeah, and it's a good lesson. It's a good lesson in itself. But now that we put that information out there, your kid is developed. Now that we've put that information out there, your kid is developed. So if you're a parent that has been honing in on just one thing, now you can add something else to your toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
You can add something else to your toolbox. Coaches, parents, all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? All you guys could add all this type of stuff that we talking about to your toolbox if you haven't added it. Or even if you agree. If you agree, then we appreciate
you. Yeah, buddy, man. So let's talk about this topic, man. This is big news. Big news in NCAA. Did you hear the news about NCAA losing the settlement?
Yeah, man, but that does nothing for people like me who wasn't D1, man.
So let's talk about, let's break this down for the people who don't know, and then we'll get into how we see things working out going for the future. So there was a settlement. It started back in May 2024, and the settlement settled for $2.8 billion. So this covers going back to 2016. So this money has to be distributed to current and former D1 player athletes, so whether they play football or basketball. Now, who pays? Each conference has to pay. So the Big Ten, SEC, ACC, Big 12, Pac 12, and all that. Now they have to pay this 2.8 over 10 years, right? So they got 10 years to pay out this money. Now, what does this mean going forward with students? So now the schools have the ability to share the revenue with the athletes going forward. Now they don't have to, but they can. So rather than the NIL, the school would actually start paying out the players. Now they essentially will have a cap at 20 million per school per year in athletics to pay.
How
Now the
many
thing
per
about it,
individual?
you said what?
How many per individual? How
No,
much
no,
per?
it's not. It's see, this is the school gets to choose. They don't have to choose. They don't need to be an individual. It's how they want to distribute the money. Now, at the same time, the school doesn't even have to go up to that 20 million. They can decide what they want to do with the 20 million. They can decide we only want to spend 10. That's it to our players, right? And like I said, this has nothing to do with the NIL compensation. This is all the school funding. So you can be a player on a team, and let's say you get in 20,000 already from your school. If you got NIL, you can get more money. So that's the great thing about it. Now, this is a new era of players. Players are actually getting paid. They actually thinking about moving in a direction that they actually become employees, and then they also get to revenue sharing. So as media and TV continues to get bigger, the athletes actually get to be partakers of this revenue splitting, and then it's working more like a salary cap, which they kind of already had already. Like I said, the thing is though, the schools don't need to explain or be open about their books, but it kind of gives them the flexibility, like, yeah, we're spending this money or we don't want to share it. With all this said, right? Oh, and one more thing. So because NCAA is here, and now athletes can also get paid for their appearance on the game and other media. So this, it kind of help out the school. And I saw something else about the game as far as depending on if you play with a team a certain amount of times, then some money goes towards the school, which is kind of crazy. Bro, what is your thoughts on all of this information regarding this settlement?
I think it's something coming behind this. Like I think it's something like they're trying to find a way to catch the players in a trap with this new NIL stuff. I think personally, I know they ain't doing it intentionally, but they got to be able to control like they want to. You know what I'm saying? So I haven't really dove far into it. Far into it. I just seen that article come out. Checked the article come out. I mean, I checked the article that came out. Immediately went personal and said, "Oh, can I get compensated?" And I'm like, "Nah, I didn't make the. I didn't. We wasn't D1 at the time. Of course, they're D1 now. So then I kind of took my understanding away from it, which kind of put me in a sense of yes, that was ignorant, but I could have did more research to help somebody out on this topic. But as far as I know, bro, it's giving is giving kids the opportunity to it's giving kids the opportunity to be professionals in college, bro. I think with the money that they will be making from like Jeremiah Smith, come on, bro. He don't need to go to the league. I don't think he needs to go to the league. Not even need to. Of course he would want to.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody like him with something like this coming out, if he's granted and he's included in that, whatever it is, bro, you're a freshman last year. You got, bro, go on and ride that. Go to college for 4 years, bro. Go to college for 4 years. I guarantee he could be the first one to, if he does get injured through that time, to change the rules to where the college got to pay for your injuries and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
They always pay for it though if you got hurt playing.
Oh, that was high school we was talking about.
Yeah.
That was high school we was talking about. Okay. So that was wrong on that. But I just feel like if you stay in college longer, bro, I think this gives this gives you a sense of more development as a human being and as a player. From a financial literacy perspective, if you care, you know what I'm saying? These are the things that I would take advantage of if they open up these doors. Because without you taking advantage of these doors that they opening, they're gonna shut on you. Then you're gonna try to get yourself into a door that you can't get into. Then it's gonna be bad for you. So I really, like I said, I haven't done too much information, but I just think giving kids a lot of this money, um, we got to come up with different platforms to where we help these kids out with management and financial literacy. You know what I'm saying? And that's where your program, like, that's where programs like yours come in at.
So what I like about this is kids are gonna get paid from the school. That's what I do like, and they can still make their own money off their own name, image, and likeness. What I don't like is the school determines who gets paid and how much they get paid, which they already did already, right? But it can be lopsided, kind of like the NFL, which I believe it should. You know, the best players get paid, right? And not so much. You get something. And I'm all for the kids getting paid. I think this is going to speed up business for the athletes. One thing I don't like is this whole NCAA video game. I've said this before. I've put this on my page. If kids did not opt in and did not put their name on the game, because they only got $600 in a free game, right?
Huh? The first time.
Yeah, the for 2024.
They got like 1,200 this month,
which is nothing. Do you know how much NCAA the game EA Sports?
That's why they came out with it again and they boosted it up because they seen how much they ate.
If everybody said no, we're not going to take $600. We need more than this, and we're gonna hold out. Everybody did it. They would have got way more money, way more. And kids be like, people are saying, "Oh, well, they're gonna come out the game anyways." Yeah, they're gonna come out with the game, and that's fine. The game is not gonna be personable because it's not your name.
It's gonna be it's gonna be halfback number 25.
It's gonna be a generic. It's gonna be generic. They made billions of dollars. Billions would they be within minutes, not a year, within minutes. You giving me $1,200, it's all good and gravy. I'm on the game. Yes, cool. But you giving me $1,200 when y'all projected to make over $200 billion on a game? Come on, bro.
Yeah, the fact that y'all even thinking of giving us crumbs is no value. Y'all need us to make this game.
But that's the economy, though. That's the thing. And we think it's bad. They're not taking advantage of, because if I was making a game too, it would be the exact same thing. It's not. They're doing what they're supposed to do. See, people got to understand this how it works. If somebody has a service, right? Somebody has a service. I'm the person providing the service. My job is to charge the most amount of money and give you the least amount of value. This is John Hope Bryan. This is what he talks about. Mm-hmm. The person who is on the other end, the consumer, they're trying to negotiate the most amount of value for the least amount of dollars that they got to spend. That's how it works, going back and forth. So ESPN or EA Sports, their job is, how can I pay the least amount of money and get the most amount of value? This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to offer $600 in a game, free game. And the kid's not thinking, because at the same time, we kids, oh, I'm about to be on this game, $600, they're going to make it anyways. I'm going to play it. Not understanding, it's 2024 when that game came out. Let's say a dude, that was his last year. Let's say everybody held out and said, look, we not signing nothing until we get royalties on this. So if they make $200 billion just on 2024, they're going to keep making EA Sports. They're going to keep making college for 20 more years. if I got a royalty check coming in, let's just say it's $800 every month for the rest of my life. You know how awesome that is? $800 because I was on a game one time for
Yeah,
the rest of my life,
they're not even doing that for NFL players.
bro. But we don't understand
That's
our
crazy.
leverage.
Now that I
We
think
don't.
about it, you could have so much leverage in the NFL. But then again, you're getting paid from EA Sports too, so I guess yeah.
But
Like
that
Barkley,
check,
I'm sure he got royalties.
yeah, and that's what they're gonna do going forward with the NCAA, the same as Madden. You feel
So
me?
if you
So
put me on a cover and I'm Ryan Williams, I need royalties. Cover player need royalties, straight out. That's what or y'all just gonna have to put the NCAA logo up there, or get a coach that's gonna take this
hey,
chump change.
hey man. So that's the only thing. But you know, I'm happy also for those guys who are going to get paid. I wish it go back a little further, man. I don't know how you decide to only go to 2016. It ain't even got to do with me. It got to do with everybody else. The blood, sweat, and tears for the guys who build up some programs, man. Like
And Reggie Bush is the reason why N is an I and an L.
I wouldn't say just Reggie
I'm
Bush.
not gonna say just Reggie Bush, bro. If he would have been one of the highest paid players in college history.
Reggie, Troy, Vince Young, Johnny Manziel, Tim
Man,
Tebow,
I think Johnny Manziel and Reggie Bush would be
Cam Newton.
Tavon Austin, Cam Newton. Yeah, it would be a lot of dudes, but I'm saying like money wise with the area they in, even with Reggie Bush being in California, he's still gonna be the number one highest paid NIL player in history.
I think it's out of him or Johnny Manziel, him or Johnny.
Him and Johnny Manziel for sure. I think
Tavon in West Virginia, that's too small of a market.
that's too small of a school. Like but bro, the smaller markets you might make more money.
But you got to think, who's the collective? The collective is the people who, and they don't even necessarily need to be in West Virginia to give money to them. But at the
Right.
same time, you feel
It's
me?
just small. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So I'm happy, but you know, we'll see. One thing I don't like though, if they make them employees, people gonna have to pay taxes, and people already don't understand it. Well, they're paying taxes already, but there's a way, and at least in college football, that you ain't got to, or college in general, you ain't got to pay taxes.
They know how to get you, and they gonna get you. They gonna get you. So it's on you to go find out what taxes are and how taxes work in your life.
Yep.
They not. They don't care. They don't care about that in the NIL. The NIL, yeah, they paying you, but they ain't gonna set that up for you. They ain't gonna set that up.
Like you said, they're gonna find more ways to get the money from you.
From you,
they got I saw Syracuse, they talking about you know, they finding them money if they late and stuff like that. Look here,
I like that.
I like it too, but at the same time, nah, nah, because
that money is coming from a donor, right?
now some of this they can find you on their money they're giving you. Remember, the collective is different. Collective is what, you know, it's a pot of money that people donated, and the school or the team, they disperse how they want to. Yes, you can find that money, but my money that I'm working for, that I create my own NIL, you can't do nothing about that.
I think this is off topic, bro, but I heard somebody, bro, this dude was mad, and he said he's gonna take USC out of his will. So
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
If y'all don't let this coach go, I'm taking you guys out of my will, and they will literally make a move.
So we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this because it's still you know, college institutions. Now we're going to the high school, vein. So do you think that high schools should pay seniors who graduate? Now, before you answer, let me give some context to this. So we always talk about, helping our kids as far as passing it forward, as far as, helping them out in their future. I don't think, and I'm only talking about public schools. I'm not even talking about private schools. I don't think people understand how public schools actually work. So just in our area, right, in the area that I live in, I looked up how much a kid is worth to a school per semester. In our area, a kid is worth $8,000. And this can vary per school though too. But for majority, a kid is worth $8,000 per semester. So for the year, the school receives $16,000 for one child. So you times that by 4, you got your math, right? Yeah. So if a kid stays at the school for all 4 years, take care of their business and graduate, I believe that they should have some type of money. Now, the thing about it, schools do give out money. The thing is, though, they only give it out to certain people. Like they'll give out scholarships and grants, $1,000, some 5,000, stuff like that, right? I actually, when I graduated, before I graduated, there was a ceremony. I think there was like 8 of us in this room, this dinner, and we all got some type of scholarship or a grant that was named after somebody at my school that I was at. So a lot of people don't even know that some schools give out money to people, right? So rather than just giving that money to certain people, I think they should give the money out to all the seniors that hit certain metrics. Because you're telling me you're making 16,000. Once again, this can change in different cities and different states and can be different amounts. You're telling me that, and in New York, people, they're getting 25,000 for the year. In Florida, they're getting 10,000. For Mississippi, 9,000. For Texas, 11,000. Right? This is for the year for one child.
It's a lot of money.
And you have multiple kids. So let's say if you have 1,000 kids at your school, how much money do you got? This is why they're able to build up these facilities. See, people don't be understanding this. This is how they be able to build up these facilities and whatnot. Now, I always wondered, and I found this out, and I ain't going to say their name, but thank goodness I found this out. I always wondered why when you went to a school and you want to transfer because you want to go to a better school, they be like, oh, you got to sit out or you got to wait till the next semester. And you know why they stop you? It has nothing to do with grades, has nothing to do. Because if you transfer, you lose out, that school lose out on that money. And it goes to the other school. So they be like, no, you got to wait till the next semester. So they don't lose out on that money.
So this money could count.
That's the only reason why they keep you from transferring to another school. The only reason. So what is your thoughts on this, bro? Do you think that a high school senior should get some money, get compensated for graduating from their high school?
I think, like you said, the one with the different metrics and the ones that are that have that ability to, I just say it like this: the ones that have applied to more than 25 colleges, I think you grant them that money to allow them to pay for their college application fees. Yes, to answer your question, I think that helps. That gives you a good start. That's what, $64,000.
And depending on how they do it, yeah, they can decide.
We're talking about that 16 times 4, right? Yeah, so that's like, yeah, so you're saying, should you give a senior 8,000 or 64,000 by the time he graduates? Which one you were saying? You saying 8,000 or 64,000?
I don't know the amount, and I looked it up
with the figures we use, like with the 16,000 times 4. I just took those figures and put those figures together. So I'm hypothetically just throwing those numbers out there as if those are base numbers.
So, like that's what I'm saying, because some of that money still has to go to the school, right? Like, I don't think they should get like half of it, right, or a fourth of it to the
They
child.
should definitely get something. I feel like you shouldn't have to pay for application fees, bro, if that's the case. I don't feel like you should have to pay out of your pocket for application fees for college. I don't feel like that. I feel like all application fees should be paid for now that I've learned this information. But when you lack information, they're not going to give you the information so they can make money off of you not knowing the information.
So, this kind of go back to our conversation with Coach Mills as far as, should the schools take care of injuries? Yes, they got the money to do it,
Y'all
right?
got to do that for each individual. Y'all got money allocated for each individual. So we'll sit up here.
Exactly.
He don't got a bond. He don't got a bond. He ain't got a bond. Everybody got a bond. It's just too much money for y'all to put it in one.
Exactly. And now, what we're not talking about, let's say, because I remember my graduating year, we had over 1,000 freshmen come in. Did 1,000 people graduate? No, we had a lot of people get kicked out. Had to go to Rose City, transferred out of schools. So I understand that money would leave at some point in time. So you got to contribute that. Now, at the same time, you also can come up with metrics where like you got to have a certain GPA, which
GPA all 4 years though. It's not just
like accumulative. Like you need to have over a 3.2 or something like that. But you're gonna incentivize kids now to want to do better in school now, because it's gonna be people who don't. And the great thing about it, the people who don't.
Man, I like that you said that. I like that you. Sorry to cut you off. I love that you said that. But are you doing better just for those finances?
For some people, that's their motivation. That's their motivation. Once again, that's the way for them to get out. But that's the thing is, though, they're doing it in a positive way. They're like, I want to go to school. I want to go to a trade school or something like that. And that's where you hit these certain metrics, because some people are not motivated to do anything else out of high school. They were just made to. But now you saying you're going to give me money to possibly start my own business. You're going to give me money to like you said, apply for other schools, to go to a trade school, whatever it is. I'm coming out of high school with not only a degree, but actually some money to help me. Now, of course, offer something else as far as, some financial literacy. They have to take these classes. You got to have a certain like GPA. You have to have, apply for a trade school or some type of business. Rather, you're going to start your own business or you're going to apply for school, stuff like that, right? And how I see this working out overall is because let's say you have 700 kids who graduate. Out of those 700, everybody's not going to have passed those metrics, right? So let's just say out of that 700, let's say 400 kids do. Well, that rest of that money, it just goes into a fund for next year, for the next kids. It don't get used. They don't use it. You don't be like, oh, well, these other kids, they didn't make it, so we're going to spend this money. No, the pot just continues to grow for the other seniors. So now you can get more money down the line.
So it don't go with you.
Yeah, it don't go with you, because if you don't meet it, you don't meet it. If you don't deserve it, you don't get the money. You feel me? But then now, let's just say in 1 year, right, we implement this. Let's say that a kid gets $600, which is nothing right now, right? $600 when they graduate. It's better than nothing. But the next year, it's going to be like $700. The next year after that, the next seniors can get $900. The pot is going to continue to grow. So when you get that diploma, you look in when you walk across that stage, you're like, shoot, I got a $1,200 check with my diploma. Like you gonna be real happy about that, rather than, hey man, I graduate, take these pictures, and I got $1,200. You feel me? And I think it's just ultimately, I think it's awesome if we do that for the kids and for the families as well, because going to school, it keeps getting more expensive, and it's starting to get out of hand, and parents are not able to let alone pay for schooling, but pay for application fees and all these things they got to do with travel wise. So I think it would be awesome.
Hell yeah, I think it'd be like I said, man. You always putting me on to more information and new things out there, so I can just imagine what somebody is doing that actually takes the information and runs with it, bro. Like that's information right there that like I'm not the smartest person in the world, but everybody don't know that. Those are things that they don't know. But man, if everybody take the time to do that research, man, you could do a protest, man.
I mean, it starts with all of us. And like I said, how I found this out working at a group home, realizing, the kids are part of the state now, and that's how the group home gets paid. But at the same time, the state will penalize a kid or the group home if the kid's not showing up for school. So the schools, the state is essentially double dipping. And that's when I realized I'm like, okay, if the kid is getting paid, if the group homes are getting paid for the schools, I mean for the child, right? And this is how they pay for their bills, then how are the schools getting paid? They get state and federal funding as well. Those funds go to the school. Now, I don't know how they allocating that money, and I understand you got to pay staff, you got to pay all these things, but at the same time, once again, just like college, that money should be allocated to the kids as well, and it shouldn't be just 10, 12 people. It should be the majority who are definitely appreciative and definitely work hard to earn that spot or earn that money.
Yeah, yeah, that's 100%.
Yeah, bro. So, man, we threw a couple of flags, man. We threw a couple of flags.
Couple of flags out on the night, man. I hope they're ready for them.
Man, we keep getting some more topics, bro. We got some more things on the way, but man, we appreciate the love and the feedback, man. You guys definitely comment, what you guys want to hear, talk about, and we're gonna continue to make a difference and speak up and share our opinions on what no longer needs to be accepted, and keep doing those things that need to.
Yeah, man. So like, comment, subscribe, check us out, man. We got some special guests coming in the near future. We got some man, we got some great people coming. Man, we also got some great topics coming on, man. So just make sure y'all do y'all best to, stay tapped in with us, man. We doing our best to give y'all, uh man, just shed light on situations that you may or may not know about. And if you know about them, we're doing our best to give you more enhancement on what you do know. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate y'all for, man, seeing us throw these flags on the culture, man. And we got to keep throwing them, man. We got to hold them accountable, Ness. We got to hold them accountable, man.
Hey, facts. All right, Aaron, man. Talk to you, bro. Until next time.
All right, Ness. Till next time, big dog.
All right.